it slaps us in the face when we wake up in the morning what other people are doing and what their salon looks like. And it's really hard to not be influenced by that.
As the business owner, we've got a heck of a lot on our shoulders and we're like, freaking heck, who's looking after me?
Isn't that amazing when your own profile page makes you smile from the inside?
Hey, Larissa here. Welcome back to the Salon Owners Collective podcast. Today, I am joined by the incredible Sam James. She's an award-winning stylist, salon owner, businesswoman, and mum who's here to give us a behind-the-scenes look at what it really takes to win big in the hair industry. You're going to hear from her on how her latest national award wasn't an overnight success, actually, but a result of 13 years of persistent growth, creative risk, leading a salon culture that truly performs. And from crafting creative collections and leading a team of 10 to navigating motherhood and managing momentum, which is a good thing, Sam opens up about the lessons, the challenges, and the mindset shifts that helped her become the powerhouse leader that she is today. So if you're chasing big dreams in your business and you want to know exactly what it takes to build something award-winning, this is the episode for you. This episode is brought to you by the Managers Program, our strategic program for salon owners who want to elevate their salon with a strong, effective, and empowered in-salon manager. So let's dive in and meet Sam. Thank you so much for joining me on the Salon Owners Collective podcast. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me. So excited.
Why don't we start with, where are you in the world, Sam? And what do you do?
So I should probably check my calendar because I can't remember at the moment. I'm doing so much travel. But I am here in Adelaide, Australia, and I'm here doing my thing. A qualified hairdresser, business owner, mom, you name it. That's me.
All right. Well, I've got lots of questions to ask you, but why don't we start with recently, well, the not too distant, not too long ago, you won a big award, which was pretty exciting. I was just watching your winning moment on Instagram, which was pretty cool. But I get
That up.
asked this. What's that?
I wish I could bottle that up.
Yeah. Well, I'm really keen to know, behind a big achievement like that, what are some of the things that happens behind the scenes that people don't necessarily see? Like, what goes into an achievement like that? Give us a bit of a backstage pass.
Okay, it's a big question. And I guess a lot of people talk about what goes into a photo shoot, but you're right, the behind the scenes is enormous. And to summarize it, to be honest, it's the last 13 years. And I mean that in a way that this is actually the first year I'm not shooting a collection in 13 years. So for me, last year was the pinnacle of learning, overcoming knockbacks, failing, and then eventually success in an enormous way. And lots of successes along that journey, but just like a climbing ladder, and just preparation is better every time, organization is better every time, your team is better every time. Your hair, for me, I like to push it and be better every time. And that's really the behind the scenes secret, is that there's no major secret. It's just that you got to keep doing it until you get there.
Yeah, I love that. You mentioned the team getting better every time. Just shine a light on what kind of team does it take to put together a collection like that for that type of award? Like, you're not doing this solo. This is a team effort.
100%. So obviously you've got, the people that really have to make it happen, which is your photographer, your stylist, your makeup artist, and the hairdresser. And for me, a lot of that in the early days, I was using someone in the salon that dabbled in makeup. I was using myself to do styling. I was using emerging photographers. So it's transcended, through the era, if you like, that those things, obviously with budget, are allowed to get a bit better. And sometimes, I did make changes along the way that weren't better, even though I thought they should be for the decisions I was making. And I guess for me, over the last couple of years, I really wanted to push the whole team and be working with people that I hadn't worked with before, people that were exceptional in their field. I'm of the belief that even when it comes to marketing my business, I don't do it all myself. I get help from the professional people. And sometimes that's a bit out of reach, money wise, time wise, whatever that reason may be. But, the last couple of years, I really put that extra in. And I think obviously last year was a result of a lot of change and growth. And so very thankful for that. I think the less obvious one is the names that don't get to be listed when you're entering that competition, which, I've been through phases of my life where my first couple of collections, there was a big team from my salon there. When I started my own place 6 years ago, there was only two or three of us there, and it's climbed again. So for me, last year's win came from the previous year's photo shoot and at the end of the year, and we were a humming team. I'd really got the culture where I wanted it to be in the salon. And so a lot of that, I think, added to the success of being able to have better prep on the day, and I do hair myself, like I really am a big believer in that in photo shoot days. But the prep work is still really important. The looking after models when you're running behind, the getting people prepped for styling and all that sort of thing comes from the whole of my team that were there the whole day and night making that happen. So they're the main people, really. Outside of that, you've got family that are missing you in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning because you're making hair pieces. That's the things that people don't see. And I think that's being talked about now more on social media because it's fun to watch the behind the scenes. And we're talking about that, which is great because we don't just rock up on the day and bring these things that we bought. We've spent hours making them, hours failing making things before those things actually worked. And this for me, like when I do a collection, it's a 4 month process. It starts really hardcore in September, and then the planning phase begins, the team decision starts, then you lead up to, towards the end of the year and you start making things. And, like, unfortunately, depending on what award you win, it's always Christmas, New Year, and, January, where I'm quieter, a little bit quieter in the salon some years and not traveling as much. So I get that opportunity to spend more time on that. So it's so much planning goes into it, Larissa, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I love that, and, it's good to have that visibility, like, it's a 4 months of, actual planning, but I really agree with the actually it's 13 years in the making because you do start and you need those early days with, the unskilled, or less skilled, shall we say, makeup and the iPhone photography and, maybe didn't start there, but, like, all of that adds the layers to what you bring to finally pull it off, so, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's a good segue to talk a little bit more about leadership because you've got a team of 10 and you have a strong brand. What do you think one of the things that you do that makes you a good leader in terms of being able to build a brand that punches, a little bit above your weight?
Yeah. Um, I think, like a lot of not failure, but a lot of learning what I didn't want to do along the way. I had a great start in my hairdressing career with a solid business, and I was then a partner in that business. And it just helped me realize that what they were passionate about and what I loved working for as I got older wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do anymore. And that was such a hard decision for me. But when I made that decision, I wholeheartedly wanted it to be for me and a team of people. And I wanted it to feel like a collaborative space under employment. Why should we have to work alone just to be able to actually work the way we want to work? Of course there's rules we have to follow, but I'm a mother. I have a lot of mums that work for me and we make it work for us as a team. And when you do that in a team, we help each other. If someone has something on and they're like, I desperately need to kind of try and get this day. Someone says, oh, look, I can actually change my holiday week to the first week of the holidays if you like. And things like that just make me feel so full in the inside because that's the reason I got into this, myself, knowing I wanted to be a parent. And so, mine and my partner's ethos is that we have a lot of time with our kids whilst they're young, and that's helped us be able to do that and I'll be able to help other people do that. So I think when you start in a place of what do you need, not what do I need from you when you enter into a job, I think that's a big starting point for showcasing what you're able to deliver for someone. And I think it drives this need and want to be a part of that. Therefore, what you do need and what you ask for your business is expected, but it's kind of wanted to reciprocate in appreciation. if that makes sense, Larissa. And I guess that's the whole ethos behind my brand. And yes, I have to push the KPIs and things like that. But also, those KPIs look different for everybody. It's not kind of this is here, this is if you work here, you need to do this. It's like what works for the hours that you do and the realisticness of where you're at. And we work kind of individually to make that work for them.
Yeah, I love that. Um, yeah, that's right. It is a balance, isn't it, of finding, what each individual team member needs while keeping in line with what the business objectives or even what the business needs are to just, be able to open the doors every day. And finding that line, I think sometimes is the challenge to stay empathetic with what the team members need. Because actually, as the business owner, we've got a heck of a lot on our shoulders and we're like, freaking heck, who's looking after me sometimes?
Yeah, there's moments.
There are moments for sure, and I think that's one of those behind the scenes that not everybody gets to see, especially if we don't have somebody to keep us on the positive, in leading space. How old are your children, Sam?
2 and 4, what an age.
Oh, wow. Alright, you got your hands full. I love that.
Fun though,
Alright,
I
if
wouldn't change it.
Yeah, my kids are now teenagers, and I miss those young children. Like, they're beautiful years, and, going at the time, like, I remember, can't wait till they can speak more, do more, and now that they can do that, I'm like, "Oh, I wish they were little."
Yeah, I've had that conversation a lot lately with clients, and last night, actually, one of my beautiful clients, Felicity, she said to me, "Oh, I used to kind of want them to be bigger and talk to me, and then all of a sudden now I want them to stop talking to me." And I'm like, I tell you, I just wish for silence sometimes. Like when I'm on a plane, oh my God, sometimes I just don't want anything except noise cancelling headphones.
Yeah, totally,
Nothing going.
totally. Yeah, for sure. If you could go back to give yourself some advice, like when you were first starting out, your first business was a partnership, wasn't it? And then even for this business, like what would you say back to yourself then? So those that are listening that are in early stage of growth, wanting to be where you are, what would you say?
I think there's a couple of ways I look at this because obviously it's changed a lot. That was 11 years and 6 years ago for me. The biggest thing that I've learned along the way, and probably children help with this, but business helps a lot, is patience. Like wanting everything to happen now the way you visualize it is really difficult. And to deal with that, my advice is little goals. Like have your big goals, set them so you know what they are, but have little goals that are probably 6 monthly is really realistic for me, that I want it to look like this by then. How many staff, the money, the rebooking, the space itself, like setting little goals along the way makes things achievable, makes you feel like you're succeeding towards that bigger goal. I used to be a mindset where the bigger goal was all I focused on. And it was really hard because you get lost in it because you're not, you don't feel like you're getting to it, but really you are. There's just so many little goals you're missing along the way. So that's something I would say for myself, now. But in terms of for other people starting businesses, the biggest thing I want to say to people is influence.
Hey, it's me again. I just wanted to interrupt and jump in here quickly to say thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate you being here. Just one question though. If you are listening to this episode and thinking, oh my God, this is me, but I'm just not sure what to do, well, don't worry. I got some strategies for you. The Salon Mastery Program will help you develop and implement a 100K team, 100K mindset, strategies and steps designed to help you lead your team to enjoy 100K careers and install the 100K mindset and motivation so you can help build that inside of your team. The systems, the processes to master the 100K day so you can build the $1 Million Salon. So I want to invite you to join me for a complimentary $1 Million strategy call. We'll discuss your business, your role in the business. Let's see if I'm the right person to help you grow your business and your team. Together, we can reach the $1 Million mark. All you need to do is click the Apply Now button in the show notes of this very episode. You're welcome to book a time, a strategy call. We'll have a chat. All right, that's enough for me. Let's get back to the episode.
We are surrounded by looking, it slaps us in the face when we wake up in the morning what other people are doing and what their salon looks like. And it's really hard to not be influenced by that. And you know what? It's really important that you recognize when that's becoming a feeling and probably stop scrolling. It's my advice, stop scrolling, focus on you, put the time that you're scrolling into the things that you need to be changing to be more like the people that inspire you, because that's another really big ethos for me is surround yourself with people that you think are better than you, doing amazing things in the industry. Focus on following that, but reaching towards that, not watching people do it, because that's what's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really easy to have expectations on ourselves when we watch other people's tomorrow. Like they're already, 10 years in and we're going, well, I'm 2 years in. Why am I not like that? And we forget that actually time has gone by.
Yes.
Yes, wise words. Very wise words. As a business owner, what is a mantra or a quote or something that you keep in the forefront that keeps you sane and keeps you moving forward?
You'll probably laugh at this. I have this funny thing that I've always kind of used since I saw it. I just saw it one day, and I'll tell you after who said it. But success is rented and it's earned every day and bought and worked for every day. It's an ongoing journey. And that was The Rock that said that. But I just remember it
Love that.
always.
Yeah. 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 I love that. Like, it's kinda like the situation that you have today doesn't mean that it's guaranteed tomorrow.
No,
Keep working at it.
that's right. Don't get comfortable. It's a big
Yeah.
thing.
He's a smart guy, that guy. I
Yes,
like
he
him.
is. And he's
Yeah. Yeah, he's down to earth in a way. Okay. What is, a book, a podcast, or a resource that you've, had your eyes on recently that you're like, "Salon owners have gotta get involved."
This is an easy one. Profit first. And I go back to it numerous times. Yeah.
Nice. I love
Mm.
that because it's just a super simple and definitely achievable no matter what your revenue, it's definitely achievable. All right, good advice. All right, Sam, I know people are going to want to stalk you, find you, check out your award video. What's your dove and your socials? Where can we find you?
So it's at Sammy J Hair, and you can see a bit of everything on there. So Facebook's a little bit more personal nowadays, but Instagram's where I kind of have my whole life now. And it's so funny actually you say that. I just posted something last night, and it was, I just was on my profile page the other day, and I was like, isn't that amazing when your own profile page makes you smile from the inside? I actually
Yeah,
like
that's
wrote that
cool.
on video last night, and I just sometimes that's where you should be scrolling, like your own feed, because that makes me feel really full all the things that I'm doing at the moment.
Do you know, maybe 3 years ago, I lost access to my original personal Facebook. Long story, you know how it just happens sometimes, right? So I had to start a new profile. And the one thing that actually missed out of everything, not having to find new friends, remake friends with everybody, not all the DMs that I didn't get because people would say, "I DM'd you, you didn't reply." But I missed the memories coming up, like of my kids when they were young, every first and second birthday and going through all of that. Um, that's actually what it's really all about.
Yeah, it is. It's being able to look back at it one day, I'm almost like, can you like back up all your Instagram stuff? There's someone needs to make something for that.
Okay, so there's this really cool app because I started getting locked out of my page, like it was a slow process, long story, but so I knew it was coming. And there's this app that you can download all of your photos and it prints a book, like it's not online, but it prints a book. So now and I didn't get through all of the years before I got locked out of my account.
Oh,
So
okay.
now
So,
I've got like six like coffee table books with all of
oh,
my
I've done that.
photos from every year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we do that.
I think that's
Yeah,
pretty
we
cool.
do that. We do like first holiday, and you've just reminded me I'm about 2 years behind. So I really
Right.
need to get with that. Maybe over
I
Easter.
Yeah, I need to do that too for my new account. It's not quite the same, but anyway, um,
I
sometimes it's
should
just
do
nice to
that
have
with
something
Instagram
physical.
though, like a work journey one. I've not done that with work. I do it with kids and family and holidays. So maybe I need to adopt that. I love that.
That's a good, Salon coffee table book if do we still
It
have coffee
is. I
tables?
actually really love this idea. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah. Good. All right. Making ideas on the podcast. Hey, Sam, I really appreciate you sharing your journey. I love what you're doing. It's great to watch. everything that you're up to. And I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you. I hope it helped a couple of people that might need just a little bit of guidance, eh?
I think so. Well, that was an epic conversation with Sam. Thank you, Sam, for joining me. I love your honesty, leadership style, and relentless drive. These are exactly what it takes to lead a rock star team and build a brand that, punches above its weight. So if you are feeling stuck while you were listening to this, you were resonating with what Sam had to say, or if you're like juggling everything alone, maybe you're trying to grow, but your team isn't just stepping up like the way that you need them to, let's jump on a strategy call. It's free, and we're going to map out a clear path to take you from the daily grind, let's get the heck out of there, and into some serious momentum so you can scale towards being that $1 million salon. Plus, we'll see if Salon Mastery is the right program fit for you to support your next level. All you need to do is book a free strategy call with me or one of my team members. The link is in the show notes of this podcast. So until next time, keep going, keep growing. Ciao for now.